So we just notice what is around us, where we are sitting, focusing to is there any sounds, whatever feeling is there. If I feel comfortable or not comfortable, something is disturbing, maybe some state, or I feel good. All that what is happening is perceived by something which is quiet, which is not involved in the perception, just perceiving, just by perceiving. So by doing so, I bring back attention to the center of perception. I can imagine a circle around me, and I am sitting in the middle of the circle. And all objects, thoughts, people, sounds, anything which is perceived is somewhere in the circle, maybe on the circumference or anywhere inside the circle, somewhere. And I'm sitting right in the middle. And I bring more and more attention to the one who is perceiving all the outer objects, whether it is thought, feelings, people, memories, anything. I bring back to the center of perception. And this center, like in a wheel of a car or a wheel of which is turning, the center is the only point which is not moving. All other points are always in movement when the wheel is turning. But one point alone is not moving, and that is the center. And that's where I am sitting. If I would not look closely, it would appear that the center is also in movement. But in truth, the center is not moving. Is not involved. So is not taken anywhere out of the center. If there is any command from the mind or any feeling, they are at the periphery somewhere in the circle. So I've just stayed sitting in the center. And in this center, which is not moving, there is no time and space, so I can't do anything. doing is happening outside of the center. Doing needs time and space to express itself. But the center, my real nature, is not involved, has never been involved, and will never be involved in the turning of the wheel of samsara. We could call this absolute grounding, or other grounding with Mother Earth or with anything else will be a relative grounding. But to be grounded in that what we are, which is never moving, is uncheckable. And this, what I am, nobody can move me because I don't belong to the movement. The character which is outside of the center in the movie can be moved by circumstances. But the center, what I am, is not checkable. Checkable. So I'm always sitting in this center of the universe, right in the middle of eternity, we could say, all the time, without time. Whether I am aware of it or not, whether I am present or absent. And sitting here without going through the mind, with the inner eye, I can see that there is no beginning and no end. Beginning and end is only an idea in the mind. We need the mind to have an idea of beginning and end. When we are still, quiet, when we don't use memory, we can see there is no beginning, no end. It's just a misperception. So it's like we would see through a lens which make us perceive beginning and end, space and time. But it is a misperception. Whatever is perceived within the circle needs a subject and an object, a duality. But the nature of the self, of what I am, of the unnameable, is our perception. It's a perception which is not divided. So I am the attention, which does not need attention. And this character, which I think I am, is just being dreamed as a needy one who needs attention and love. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's part of the game of consciousness. Separate being need love, attention. And we cannot change that. What we can recognize is our real nature, the absolute attention, which does not need attention, the absolute love, which does not need love. All whatever I will achieve within anywhere in the circle, in the wheel, will be shaky, will be unstable. So we can anytime sit in this center, which we are always, without time, beyond absence and presence. And if we fall in forgetfulness in the dream, when we realize we have been dreaming again, then we don't need to comment even. We just realize, oh, I've always been dreaming, identified again. It's all about identification. Consciousness needs to identify with a separate object to experience itself, separate from something. So consciousness as a separate expression is just an appearance of the self, which I am. So we don't need to change anything, just to see that all seen from this absolute I, all is perfect as it is. Even the world who seems to be so in trouble, so imperfect, when it is seen with the physical eyes and the mind, when it is seen from the absolute I, nothing can be changed. It could not be more perfect. And it's also important to not forget, if whether we have experienced it or not, that the physical world is just a tiny expression of the manifestation. So if we lose ourselves completely in it, we are bound to suffer. So all the happenings are an invitation to come back to ourselves and to be in the same search as Buddha was, to go beyond suffering, old age, and death. And he found that we cannot change that. It's part of the experience. We can only realize our true nature, the nature of Buddha. So, yes, welcome back. So I hope it was not too long. I was a little bit gone. So
it was perfect. I loved it.
Yes, me too.
It's never too long.
Yeah. I had my eyes closed, so I could not connect Caroline, who is joining us now. So I think she missed the meditation, but yes. So,
Very nice.
yes, I enjoyed it too because I'm also participant. You know, I'm leading the thing, but I'm also participating, so I enjoyed too. So, anything to share or ask or whatever? One second. I would like to ask Caroline. Caroline, can you hear us? Is it working?
She's not there yet.
Yeah, or maybe no. Maybe she doesn't want the video or the sound. Coucou.
Hello.
Ah ouais. Yes.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Namaste. Yes.
Namaste.
We don't see your video, but we don't need to. It's only just to be sure that you can connect. So up to you if you want to show the video. So I'm sorry, Caroline, we had a guided meditation and I had my eyes closed, so I could not see somebody was knocking at the door.
No problem.
You could not hear, right?
Okay, no problem.
You could not hear. Is it right?
No, I was waiting.
Yes. So I will send you because I think it was a quite nice one. So I will. Yes.
You can also change the settings so people can join automatically.
Yes, I thought to do that and I forgot. Yes.
Okay. Just wanted.
Yes. Thank you. I write it down. Setting. Yes. Setting. Yes, I will do that. Yes.
By the way, the link you've sent, the last one you've sent this time, is the first time that it worked nice for me because before I was using Susan's link because then I don't have to log in. I just put my name in and I don't need the details for the.
Yes. And you know, it happened yesterday evening because by the grace of Buddha, because I spoke about Buddha, with Sue, we tried to connect and it was not working. So I had to find they offer a link. And so I copy this link and this link is without code. So that's,
yes, like it. It doesn't ask passwords.
Yes. Good. So
the inner being does not ask for any passwords, right?
Yeah. So Caroline knows it's a friend, Caroline. So she from France, but she speaks English. So yes. So what can we say? So we do some meditation. I will send you, Caroline, if you want to listen. But so now we go to question and answer or whatever. Anything to share? So I have to tell to Caroline also that I use 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, it cut. So now after 10 minutes left, so we have to click again after 10 minutes, and it will be another 40 minutes for satsang time. Yes. So so you enjoy the meditation? What she says?
I have to translate in Google Translate.
Le réseau ici est faible à cause des intempéries. Peut-être que ça va couper, désolé. Okay. No, she says that the weather, the network is weak. So where she lives, we have been visiting her 1 week ago, a few days ago with Sue. She lives 50-minute drive from here in the mountain. Yes. So she has not good internet. So anyway, how is Buddha doing?
So tell us more about the inner eye that you spoke in your meditation.
So, when I talk like this, it's an invitation. Even if we have not experienced or we are not aware, still I'm talking to that, So it's like talking in advance to something. And this somehow recognizes itself, even if it's weak or not. But it's it's like in shamanic ritual, they have some code to go through some regions, to cross some doors like this. So it's a bit the same. If you say something to something which is on a higher level, it will invite to activate that, even if we are not aware. So it's beyond our personal awareness also. So we can explain, but it's also beyond that. It's something which is not the mind, which is maybe it starts. I can say something. Recently, I was little bit looking at the kosha, the 5 kosha, So there is one kosha, the fourth one, the envelope in the bodies. So there is and the number 4 is a Gyani kosha, is the body envelope of knowledge. So we may start to hear from that, because it's where the Gyani are talking from mostly, but the self is beyond all the covers. So we cannot precisely talk about that, because people talk very differently in books or in some teachings. But if maybe we hear to from that body which is beyond the mind, which is Gyan Kosh. And then more and more, it's like the perception is become, first it is still dualistic, but then it's about knowing without needing to know. It's like, oh yes, I know, but without proof. Maybe that's why Jesus said something like that in the Bible. Because we need proof. The physical body needs proof about everything. But this I, E-Y-I, does not need proof. When this I can hear, I am that, there is a yes which is not needing any proof. But the mind needs proof and explanation, and it's normal. Yes, Poonam?
So tell us about the koshas that you read.
Yes, so it's little bit, it can be confusing to put too much attention on that, but the 5 koshas, Patanjali talk about that. So the first is a subtle body connected to the physical body. I think it's called Annamaya Kosh. Then there is a energetic body, I forgot the name, Prana Kosh. Then there is a third, which is Man Kosh. It's the mind with the thoughts, emotions, and all this. Beyond is a Gyan Kosh. So it's more lucid, the knowledge, but it's it's not without thinking. It's a knowing without thinking. So, and then the bliss body, Ananda Kosh. So all this of covers on the soul, right? So in the physical plane, we have the 5 bodies, but we are most of people are aware only on the physical, the prana, energetic body, and also the man kosh, the mind, right? But not aware, huh?
Energetic, mind.
Mind is man kosha, mano kosha. So it's the 3rd body, and this is like the animals are the same, but the most of humans are not aware of the Gyan kosha and the Ananda kosha. So mostly it's good to have an idea of that as a picture. So there is some matching with the physical, astral, and causal body. For example, this just I tell you, I read that from a very eminent master, Sant Kirpal Singh. So, for example, the deity Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they have only the last 2 bodies, the Gyan and the Ananda Kosh, right? So they don't have a physical, they don't have energetic bodies, they don't have Mano Kosh. So it's good to.
4th and 5th?
Hein?
What is 4th and 5th? 4e, 5e?
4th is Vigyan Kosh. Vigyan.
Sorry?
Vigyan. But I can send you by writing because we don't want to spend too much time on that. Vigyan Kosh.
Piana kosha. Piana kosha. Kosha.
Yes.
Not kosh.
It depends. Some people say kosh or kosha. Kirpal Singh call it kosh. It depends how you pronounce it. And the last is the body of bliss. Ananda kosha. And some master, like for example Papaji, say he was since childhood he was addicted with his body because his attention, he was an evolved soul, so he was very much aware of this Ananda Koshi, the body of bliss, and it was difficult for him to put the attention in the world, in the outside world. It was the opposite of the normal people. Most of the people who are not aware of the Ananda Koshi and don't experience bliss. But he said that for him it was also a trouble to this addiction because it's still a covering. So he had to transcend that somehow, this addiction to the bliss. That's why sometimes some people say, be the Buddha without bliss. I don't know where I heard that, but so this is all kind of experience we can have related to different bodies. But I don't want to I would like to not spend too much time on that because it can be staying in the mind, and so it's just as an information. You can read about that, and I can send you a link about that if you want to read more. Okay? And so I will close now and open again. You can click again, and we shift the discussion to something else.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
So yes, maybe you noticed. Did you notice something since we have been talking about that 5-10 minutes ago? Between the meditation, how you felt, and talking about that. Okay, so nothing. So,
Who are you asking?
Huh?
Who is it that you are asking this question?
To everyone.
What did you feel? You tell us.
Because I feel, it's bringing mind to mine and not the same space. So that's why we can go to that for some knowledge, but it's.
We want to talk about the space, the real thing.
Yes, that's what I mean. Because, the meditation, we were beyond this koshas. So that's why it feels down. When we talk about this, you feel down, coming down somehow. I don't know if you felt that.
And the koshas are also, but everything is consciousness. So the koshas are in the consciousness.
Yes.
So I have one question. Everything is consciousness, like everything, living, non-living, the wood behind me. So what happens at the time of death? The consciousness separates from the body and it becomes feeble. What happens? That then the body can be burnt, no problem. Is it devoid of consciousness or different level of consciousness?
So when the physical is not there, burnt. So what leaves the body is the other bodies. We usually call it the soul, but the soul by itself is not moving. The Atman is not moving. It's what is moving, living from one body to another is some other body, some subtle body. So we live with our other bodies. We keep other bodies, but we leave the physical. Right.
But it's not the consciousness that remains in physical, non-physical. It's something else which is leaving the body, making it non-important in some ways.
It's another body, imagine you have a doll and inside you have another smaller doll, like the Russian doll. So just like that, but you don't need to think about consciousness is a name for, it depends as you use it, but I use it as the expression of the self. So the self, which is non-expressed, when it is expressed as a separate experience. So I call it consciousness. Like some people use it in a different way, but I like to use it in this way. Consciousness. In the same order, like Nisargadatta say prior to consciousness. So, and it's also in order to not try to hold it, to catch it, to say, oh, I understood it. That mystery, which is beyond prior to anything, even prior is not right. Prior is a word in time, but it's just a pointer to say that we call it God, Buddha, whatever we call it, it doesn't matter. Tomato ketchup, we can give any name. He's not affected by that, and but he is beyond description, beyond the grasp of the mind, beyond time and space. So it's because some people I talked a few weeks ago about that. Some people talk about nothingness. Everything comes from nothing. So especially the Neo-Advaita teachers, which are the most in this time, Neo-Advaita teacher talk about nothingness, and everything came from nothing. But this for me is not right, because nothing is beyond the idea of nothing and something. To say it's coming from nothing is trying to put it in a box, and then, oh, I know something. So there is an owner of knowledge, and who is saying that it's coming from nothing. But the real wonder is to see that I don't know. I can't know what is that. I can't know. It's not nothing, is not something. Something and nothing is, you need to use your mind to say something, nothing. But it's beyond the mind, so it's beyond our understanding. And that is a mystery. That is a mystery, and we nobody can know with our limited items, tools that we have here. So that's why sometimes we use a neti. How you want to know yourself? So we say not this, not that, not this, not that. Neti. So you reject everything in order to not take anything that you can experience, that you can identify with. And what is left is that. And yes, so that gives also a joy, because it's not nothing. It's very depressing to say, oh, it came from nothing, and before something there was nothing, or so it feels quite shit. But to be in wonder of, oh, this is always, and it's everything came from this. Everything which came from this has a beginning and an end. But this, we cannot talk about beginning and end. So how can there be this, which is neither something or nothing, which has no beginning, no end, and which is standing in emptiness? We cannot even say that. It's crazy to speak like that, but from where it came, this, it came from nowhere. It never came. This idea of coming and going is in the mind. So that's very strange to see that. But it can give a sense of devotion, of love for the mystery, which I am. So I fall in love with myself. Yes. Because all the love story in consciousness will never satisfy consciousness, because consciousness, its nature to not be satisfied. Sometimes satisfied, not satisfied. So it's a hide and seek play of consciousness. So it will never be satisfied. So it starts with a love story. For example, I meditate on the sound, the inner sound, and we call it Radha Swami. Swami is the name of the sound or the shabd, and Radha is a female. But it's a matching with the surat, which means attention. So attention, we can say also space. So the sound, the shabd, the word of the Bible, to express itself, we said in the beginning was the word. The word, to express itself, the Shiva Lingam need a yoni to penetrate, to express itself. Without space, the lingam cannot express itself. So it's depending on the space, on the yoni. So, and the shabd, the word, need also a female, a space, something. So this we can call attention. So it's a Radha, which is a female, which is in love with Swami. So all this love story is everywhere at all levels reflected. It's like reflections of the absolute love, which is not a story, which is independent love. But as soon as it is expressed, it is divided in self, and it's infinite love stories. And then lower down here on earth, it's also manifested with parents and children, lovers, and so on. And even with a guru or at some higher level. So it's all a love story. And we cannot escape that. Oh. Yes, only what we can realize is that, what I am is not in the story, but it is dreaming that story and it cannot avoid. So I can only recognize my nature. So what to do now?
Now, when we come from the meditation and we made a good job together, then we reach a point of questionlessness. And that is a very nice state, and it's exactly where we all want. And if we then ask quick questions, we come directly back into the mind, which is, of course, partly helpful. But if you reach the deep space into not thinking, then it's hinderly. And to bring those that are not out of the mind far enough after such a meditation, maybe into understanding. I think these koans, they are helpful, because if you really understand the idea of them, your thoughts are caught in a situation where you kind of hit the wall, and you know that you can't get further because it's how do you say, it's wrong and right in the same moment. Do you have such a nice koan?
The best koan I would say is this. Is trying to understand what we cannot understand. Huh?
I didn't get it.
No, is this whatever we are always in this koan. The koan is the expression of consciousness. She's trying to. The snake who is trying to bite his own tail. So, in a way, it's we always fall back in this. Sometimes we are in an understanding, and sometimes life will cut our head, and suddenly we are stopped. But no, I'm not a specialist of koans. I can do koans, because I have frogs here, so I'm learning from the frogs.
I have a question, Frank. So everything is consciousness, right? The back hair, everything. So do you treat things differently since you're becoming aware?
But several times we had this discussion, Poonam, where you say all is consciousness.
I know.
But from where you got that? Huh? Is it your mother who told you that? Or
You told me that.
no. No, maybe try to remake the question without saying that, changing.
Okay. So how do I say it? The trees, their reality is consciousness. My reality is consciousness, right? No?
No, because no, it's a word of assumptions. So we want to unassume ourselves. So to say, oh, the tree is consciousness, this is just, for me, it seems more like...
Because it said consciousness is infinite. That means it's the basis of everything. Otherwise, it will not be infinite.
So, okay, now maybe I will try to solve your problem by seeing the opposite of what you say. What if I say nothing is consciousness? Because all is a game, nothing and something are both a game of consciousness. So you can also say nothing is consciousness. Both are consciousness. Something and nothing.
Everything and consciousness.
Everything and nothing. Nothing is consciousness. You can say that, and it kills what you say. Everything you said is killed in one instant by saying nothing is consciousness. You can say anything because you see, this game of absence and presence, nothing and something, is part of the game of consciousness. So nothing is consciousness is as true as something is consciousness. This a kind of...
Why are we talking?
Yes, that's where Hans want to come. To hear that, why are we talking? This is a koan, you know. What I said is like a koan. Then the mind is stuck and say, why are we talking? This is a koan. So you got your koan ends.
But we need one at Poonam with love.
But now it stopped for a time at least.
I guess not.
No, because you know what? It is intention to try to understand like that, and the Quran is meant to kill the intention.
It's easier if it is not concerning yourself, but someone else.
Yes, you have to look if there is others, the reality of me and others. In Buddhism, they talk a lot about that. Me and others. You know, I like to repeat this, which is very from the Diamond Sutra. Buddha said when the monk make a vow, you know, before to enter nirvana, I have to save all the bodhisattvas of the world, all the suffering of the world. I have to remove. I cannot allow myself to go to nirvana as long as there is somebody suffering in the world. And as a monk, you make a vow like this. But if you look closely what it means, after Buddha said, but when by coming in, what is that? By entering into nirvana, the bodhisattva will realize that there is no others. So at the same time, everybody is saved because there is nobody, there is no others. So that is the trick of Buddha. You know,
So how do we realize that there is no others?
But first we have to question the one who is asking the question. Is it really real? Do I exist? Because the base of suffering is to believe that I exist. If I exist, others are existing. Right?
So take us, how do we dissolve this I?
It's not about dissolving the I, it's to realize that what you are is prior to the I. I is an expression. Sometimes it's there, sometimes not there. You can go.
Mine is there all the time.
Yours is all the time. You're an exception.
Yeah. So walk us through that process of I. How do I find my I?
Maybe we tell some good jokes so that you can laugh. while laughing, you will lose it.
No, but how do you feel it now? Your I.
What do you mean?
How do you feel it? Is it your body? Is it normally it's is I is identified with
My
Punam.
mind. It's my mind probably.
But first you have to know that I is Punam.
Yes.
Punam, right? Your body, because your mom told you this is you. This is
Yeah,
Punam.
this is Punam.
And she told this to you 1,000 times, and you were so tired you had to agree to make her quiet and stop repeating you the same thing. So you said yes, yes. But at the beginning you don't know who is you, me, Punam. But after thousands of times you have to agree, and then you start to believe it. That's me. That's Punam. Now you have to go back and to question it. Is it really me?
But there is this person, right?
There is a belief, but is it true? Can we look at it? So maybe you look for, you search on internet for a machine who can scan your whole body and check everywhere and see if there is an eye somewhere.
How about this whole body is the I?
Yes, that's right. The whole body, not only the physical, but the body, mind, all the bodies is all about identification with one body or another.
Yeah, so this is all I.
Yes.
So why do you say I'm not there? This is there.
No, there is a body. But there is something which is I, which is restricted, stopping exactly here. Right? And then I see another body in front of me, and he says the same. Yes, and Punam says the same thing. This is I. I say, no, you're cheating. I is this one. So who is right? Because two cannot have the same name. You also I, I'm also I. Everybody is
No,
I.
you are you I. You're Satyam I, and this is Poonam I.
Yes, but everybody claims to be I, you know.
Yes. This is your I and this is her I.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but we are all pretending to be I, so somebody might be cheating.
Why? You are your own I am my own I.
Maybe we are all I.
Yes, but why we have the same name? Why we had to add another name on the top of I? Originally it's only I, but we have to say, oh, Punam I, Valerie I, Frank I, Hans I. So we had to, yes, but it's just a way to say that.
This is why we feel all separate and we're all one. No? It's the same thing, same subject.
Yes, we feel separate.
No, but why do you say I can't find I? This is my I.
But is it true? The masters that will come to tell you, if you say that, question that. This is a source of suffering. To believe that I is the body is a suffering. Are you ready to question?
I know, doing self-inquiry, because the body has been changing and the mind keeps changing, but I has not changed. I remembers everything.
Yes, and the feeling of I is the same. And everybody feel I in the same way, little different with some colors, different feeling around, but everybody feels the same I. So what is around this I?
But is it not also that we are attached to this I? Like last time Adya Shanti said, he was so attached to his I. And this was the reason it was not possible for him to let go. And he made 4 years full sadhana, nothing happened. And where he meet this ill woman, he had only short time to live.
To live.
And she was short before death. And her eye disappeared because she opened fully in the moments before death life.
She did
This
not
was
say
possible.
he did not say that her eye disappeared because we were listening together. He did not say that, but he said she saw something.
She realized
Something, yes.
what she is. I think when you realize what you are, so it's not, it doesn't matter if there's some eye or not. It does. I think it doesn't matter anymore. It's not more a question about this.
Yeah. So now we are to explain it a bit. We are identified with a small part of the creation. I is contracted in this form, right? In this form, like this. So it's like a atomic explosion in many parts, and that we are said now this is a source of suffering because we are separate, because we depend on others, on something. So this dependency makes us suffering. So that's what Buddha was searching for, to transcend that. So how will this happen, and can we transcend it?
So how do we have this atomic explosion?
No, we are already exploded now. So we are suffering because we are exploded in many parts, in many eyes.
So how do we do reverse?
So this may happen by itself, but what we can realize is that we are the I, the absolute identification, which is not divided. So we are the absolute I. But we are dreaming to be a small, tiny I, which is miserable and suffering and needing love and this. So we can question, I am this small I only? Is it real, or is it my real nature? So by questioning this, we question this. Am I this little ant who is crawling on earth and think that she's so important? And who is crying that she will die after a few days? So do I want to stay only identify as this ant, or question the reality, the nature of things? That's why we come to this quest. Because the first hurdle, as Ishwapari said on his last talk, the first hurdle is the identification with the physical body. He said 3 main hurdles. The first, with the physical body, if you can realize you are prior to the physical bodies and astral bodies and causal body, it's all, you will be identified with another body. But are you really one of these bodies? So this is what
are the 3 hurdles?
Identification with physical, then astral bodies and causal body is like Russian puppets. But whatever we identify with, we can be even a god in some higher planes. We can be anything separate. Even some saint speak about some region of bliss, and where some soul stays there for millions of years, or I don't know how long, and to enjoy there, but it's not eternal. So what do we want? Do we want to achieve that, or this, or do we want to realize our eternal nature? But I don't know if I should tell you that, because this little bit, in a way, bad news, good and bad news. It has 2 sides. Because in a way, to realize that you are that, which is prior to all that, then you have no control. You can fall back into ignorance anytime. Even if you go out of the wheel of samsara, and as a highest soul of whatever, you realize that you are the self and you never moved and you are that. But you cannot avoid to fall back into ignorance. So it's very difficult to take that for the person, for the ego. But it's a release for the self, for that, what I am, because it doesn't matter, all is being dreamed, experienced, but for me nothing happens. So I can dream anything, and so this is both sides of the coin. William Blake, I was reading this today. William Blake said, when you will find the truth, you will be shocked. So I think this is what he was talking about. This shock that when I last met Ishwar Puri, I told him even liberation is not working. Will not work because whose self will have realized itself? Or be even that is in the dream. So it's hopeless. Hopeless, but in a way this hopelessness is the only satisfaction because you don't need anything, not even liberation as a self. It's crazy, huh?
There's nothing to do then.
You can't do as that which has no potency to do anything as self. You can't do anything. Only the actor will do something to save itself. But for that, what you are, you can't do anything because you have no hand, no legs, you have no space, no time. What can you do? But at the same time, as an actor, you cannot. For example, I still meditate and this and have some ups and downs. It's part of the movie what to do. So it's a paradox. So this hopelessness is the only satisfaction which is not depending on something else. Because all the therapy, all the understanding, and all our problem with our family and friends and all what can solve, we solve this for how long? It will help, yes, but consciousness is restless by nature, so it will come back. So I agree, it's a little bit depressing to see it like that, but behind that, which is is joyful to see that there is nothing to do. It's a paradox.
That's the core.
Yes. So it's a bad news for the person in a way, but it's a joy of being that, yes, which does not need to do anything. So there is a rest in that. So we can say like we are the absolute leftover. So, so we can talk also about love because this is also another way of perceiving it. Is that this what I am is taking everything as it is, and this is absolute love, absolute acceptance. But it's not an acceptance of a little human being who need to accept something. It is that what I am which is accepting everything, low, high, good, bad, death, suffering. It is loving everything. So this is the nature of what I am, to love unconditionally whatever is and is not. So that is love without condition. And I am that right now, which take life as it is. With a body, with one body, with 4 bodies, with 3 bodies. How many bodies do you want? For the self, it doesn't matter how many bodies you have, it takes you as you are. If you have only one body, only Ananda Koshi body, he will take you also like that.
So the big challenge is, even though you understand this, is because for so many years you're saying I'm this, and everybody else is saying Poonam, how you say that it's hard to move from single body identification to everything. So what do you suggest then? Because the world and
but it's not, yes,
all the time reinforcing, right?
I agree, it's hard to move, so I'm suggesting you stop moving.
What? Say it again.
You said it is hard to move, so I would like to suggest you to stop moving.
Not how to move. It's how to turn around that I'm not this, I'm the big guy.
Yes, so all this turnaround can help, but to realize that you don't need even to turn around.
But you keep saying, right, Poonam? You say
Yes,
so.
yes. So that's a paradox. We talk like that, and at the same time, the paradox is that what you are does not need to turn around at all. This is a paradox. So Poonam may need to make some effort, but that what you are cannot turn around because there is no direction. Right? So
No, I mean, it's constantly a paradox.
Yes.
You go out in the world, they're like, Poonam, Poonam, Poonam.
Yes.
You can't say, I'm not Poonam. Then they will take you to a mental asylum.
No, it's not about saying it, but just questioning the reality of things, and if this, what is said, can be heard and recognized by itself.
So how do you do it in real life? That you behave as satsang, but you feel like the big I.
It's not about feeling.
A being. Let's say.
Yeah, I am that. We are. There is only that, but the characters continue to move, what to do, and to experience their tragedy and the up and down. So, and they have to do it. They have to do their sadhana, to try the seeking for truth, seeking for love, real love, seeking for a guru or not. All this is part of consciousness. We cannot avoid that. On one side, and on the other side, what you are does not need anything. So this is the absolute comfort, which does not need any comfort or discomfort. So this is a paradox. The person will do some effort and practice or not, or whatever. But if this can be heard,
the
that
actors,
huh?
The actors do. The actors do.
Yes, the actors have to do, yes. They are in the doing, and they cannot not do because they belong to the dream. So the actor who would like to be out of the dream is not possible. So, yes, the actor belongs to the dream. So it's not about really changing the actor. We can improve him. We can become a saint. But it's still in the dream. But to realize the nature of what I am is different. So it is not about touching the movie.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Last minute.
Okay, yes. Last minute. It's cutting in 1 minute. So I wish you a good movie. Which has no beginning and no end. So, and very happy to meet you and to finally laugh about all this. So, to give some lightness. Yes. Okay. So, nice to see you and see you next time, and have a nice trip.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Satsang.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.